welcome to the new Counter-Strike podcast, The Post Plan, brought to you by Bitcoin.com Casino. My name is Dinko. I'll be joined by HenryG in all of these episodes. Now we're going to be doing 2 a month, and we're going to have a guest every single time. So we thought we'd start with someone we know and love. We've got Hugo Byron, just to confuse all the audio-only listeners. You know, some
Start
say
strong.
You do sound pretty similar.
2 guys, 1 voice, Henry.
Well, it is a video podcast as well. So
It
we're
is.
trying to mitigate that problem by actually showing our faces here. What lovely faces they are. We've got a new studio, as it were, here.
Yeah, the studio.
Dinko's apartment.
Yeah,
pretty
we're all
nice.
hanging out here. Yeah, I think the sofa is pretty comfortable, I have to say. I like
bad.
Hugo.
I feel very at home right now. Very roomy.
Very
Got a whole
zen.
kind of side of this L shape to myself. It's quite nice. Might take a lie down.
You could do.
Yeah.
That is definitely an option.
See how boring you guys get.
You have just recently moved to Malta.
Correct.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
This week.
As if you're not aware, Dinko and I already live here.
Yeah.
You moved here, what, 3 days ago? Something like that?
Yeah, start of the week. At the esports island, they call it. Having fun.
They do call it that. Someone has definitely
Someone
said
presumably said that at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah. No, it's cool. Nice to. I left a rainstorm. I got like grounded for like 4 hours in London to get here, and now it's sunny every day. So good place to be for the player break, I think.
Yeah.
3 weeks off, sun, sea.
A little bit of scuba.
You two boys, bit of scuba.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to partake. How was it? How was the adventure?
Scuba was good.
Yeah.
I guess in my head, I thought it was going to be amazing. I wouldn't say it was
Okay.
amazing.
No,
Because
we
the
went to a
reality of it
shipwreck.
wasn't as good as I thought it would be in my head. I thought it'd be like we'd be seeing like all the different like sort of Nemo fish and kind of
Yeah.
like lobsters like waving at us and stuff like that. But it was not really much going on down there. It
No,
was
we-
cool to see like a World War II like shipwreck, but like it was just covered in rust and moss. So I'm not sure what I was expecting.
No.
But it was good.
Yeah, it was
right?
good. It was good. We were off the coast. We were literally off the port. So like we got to go a little bit deeper, I think,
Right.
to get to the real scuba diving experience.
Well, let's go a little deeper in Austin, because you were there as a caster, Hugo, just a few weeks ago. You know, it seemed like a really fun event. I went for the playoffs to watch. It was really cool. The setup was cool. But how was it for
You didn't want to work though?
No, I had some other things to do, I guess. Unfortunately,
Starting
wasn't
strong,
able to make
of
that one
course.
happen. Although Jason had a great time, I heard. So it
Nice.
was good. It was good for you, Hugo? Or?
Yeah, it was fun. I think Blast put on a really good event. We know, like at this point, their production is like A tier, S tier. Like
Right.
in terms of the event running smoothly, it was really, really good. The production was great, and the games are pretty good as well. I think the playoffs shaped up nicely. Of course, would like the FaZe Dream Run, right? There was still, it wasn't the perfect bracket, but as far as having like almost all the top dogs, I think it was a good.
I think
major.
the fact they got to the playoffs, it
So
kind of
cool.
was the dream run
Yeah,
in a
but
way.
you
like,
feel like you get that far. It's
Sure, no,
FaZe.
I get
Especially
it.
because of the
Definitely get
bracket.
it.
Their
Come
side
on.
of the bracket, everybody
Come
was
on.
saying, this is
This is
the
the one.
easy side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Surely it's a grand final for FaZe
Of
versus
course, it's the
Vitality.
Mongols. It's choked every stage game in their life, but the first one they win
I
is
know.
killing FaZe in Austin.
I agree, though. It was a wicked major. Like it was
fun.
actually like one of the
Yeah.
real good ones. I felt like every game there was something to be excited about. There were great storylines, amazing underdog runs the entire way, and it felt like the production was very good. There was no significant delays or issues. No one got their pick'ems. That's always a fun storyline as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good major. I thought, even though I was here at home just watching every single game, it went on to like 4 in the morning most nights.
Oh,
Yeah, that's rough.
Still
That's
watched
rough.
every single game.
Oh,
I was
respect,
there
Henry,
the
respect.
entire way.
What was your favorite game?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Where to
Falcons
start?
MIBR?
Oh wow! I
No, that was
guess,
actually pretty
I guess that has to be the
Kind
one.
of a banger.
I do enjoy the heartbreak and the tragedy in majors in general. I think that's what the majors about. Everyone talks about they don't like the best of ones in the kind of Swiss format.
Yeah.
I kind of love it just because we get those ridiculous like kind of results and kind of like unpredictable storylines and scorelines. So
I think it's weird because when you have Swiss, it feels like all the games are inconsequential, but at the same time,
Right.
they're extremely consequential. Like you look at a team losing a BO1 on the first day, and it doesn't feel like it's going to matter necessarily in the moment, but it could be the reason that they don't go through to the playoffs on the next stage. And that's why I think everyone got like really mad when RMRs got removed, because, you see the consequence of the matches there. You see like the emotions when teams qualify, when they win stickers. But like if you're just having constant Swiss games, it can feel hard to know which ones matter at the time.
Especially those early best of ones. I think everybody has criticisms about that every time. And MIBR in the last 2 majors have knocked out one of the favorites for the whole title. NAVI back in Shanghai,
Yeah.
Insani had that one really good BO1 on Inferno. NAVI
a
like,
really good BO.
yeah, but NAVI never recovered from losing that game. Like
Yeah,
that
true.
said, and if they knocked Falcons out of this one in more impressive fashion. So I think MIBR are loving the Swiss system. But yeah, looking into the team, the Mongols, I think Jason brought up a point at that major was the fact that North America has fallen off. They're nowhere near like the second best region. It's easily Asia now. And then Mongols go to the major finals, so they prove it.
Dude, the show up in Ulaanbaatar, I'm sure you guys saw the videos
Yeah, that was
of like
crazy.
the tens of thousands of fans in the city at
when
like
we were-
7 a.m.
We showed up to Ulaanbaatar.
Henry,
so-
you were watching the games at 4 a.m. at home, but they were in the streets
Dude,
of
they went to
Ulaanbaatar.
that theme park we were going to go to that we didn't go to on the last day when
Right.
we were in Mongolia.
Yeah.
That's where the main watch party was. They had like that by the Ferris wheel. And I'm not kidding. When we went to Mongolia, right, every street had like 3 or 4 gaming cafes on the street. We walked inside a couple of them and you walk in, there's like a room with 200 computers. Everyone's playing CS. Like no one's playing Valorant, no one's playing League of Legends. Everyone's playing CS. And
cool. Yeah.
we went to like a couple of bars and nightclubs, right, just to kind of scout out the local
Wet the
entertainment.
whistle.
Yeah, to see what's going on, to see what's happening down there. And I've never been more recognized ever in my life than being in a
you
Mongolian.
were the star of the show.
I was the star of the
That's
show.
interesting because
That's
when you
true.
go to like Asia, you know, when we go to China, it's like the players get just mobbed by fans. But
Yeah.
it's kind of nice because I can just walk out down the lift, out the hotel, through the mob, and no one even stops me. No one has any idea who the English talent are. So
we
I'm
just
surprised
just
to hear that
being in the
Mongolia.
nightclub, just hanging out. Not only were we being recognized, the CS was like. I remember I sent a picture to Chad. I was like, Chad's face was on all the 50-inch screens around the nightclubs. They're
Yeah.
showing the blast of energy, like
Yeah.
a sponge
That's
interview.
cool, that's
and
cool.
it was like on every screen inside the nightclub, Chad's face is like, this is so mad. Like, what
Do they
world
need
are
it
we
on
living in?
every screen?
Every screen.
Every
had it on.
screen, every single screen.
And it was just,
no-
it wasn't like a gaming
No
night.
subway surface on the other one.
No, it was
Family
just
Guy.
a normal night out, a Saturday night in Mongolia at a pretty massive nightclub, and there's a
Yeah.
CS non-stop out there. So I'm not surprised. It's like a national sport out there at this point, and it seems like they're really getting behind the boys. So yeah,
it was
awesome
just
to
like a
see.
skyscraper of different bars as well. And like in the bottom floor, it was like a normal bar with Counter-Strike on the TV. Then you go up to fifth floor, it's on a nightclub. It's crazy. And then Mazinho is like advertised everywhere.
It's
like
on every billboard.
So yeah, that was something very cool from the Austin Major, was to see the Mongolians turning up in
Absolutely.
Counter-Strike and the fan base showing up as well, even in 4 in the morning.
How
So-
many majors have you commentated now?
Oh God, I'm on the spot, Henry.
I know, crazy question.
More than me,
I
for
can,
sure.
yeah. The last few definitely. I guess post COVID. I was at Berlin, but they flew us in for 2
That's
days.
2019, right?
2019, we did 2 days of what was, I think at the time, I think it was the event. It just turned from major qualifier to major, so it's like on the edge of like whether you want to
Yeah. Oh,
count.
so
that.
whether you counted it
So
as
I
a
don't know if
major.
I don't know if I will count that. 'cause
Sure.
I did 2 days, so it's post COVID. Didn't do Stockholm. Everyone since then, right? So Antwerp, Rio,
So maybe 7 or 8?
Paris, Antwerp, Rio, Paris. I'm missing some Shanghai.
Copenhagen.
Austin, Copenhagen.
You did the
did
final in Copenhagen.
Dude, there's too many. So like, yes, 7, 6.
Okay.
That's live, Henry.
I just wanted to get into
Every single one since Stockholm.
I wanted to get into the Hugo etymology a little bit because I don't know that much
Ooh.
about the kind of start of your
history.
career. My first question would be, how did you first come across CS, and do you remember the first kind of game you played and the kind of feelings you had when you first got into the game? Did you have that instant feeling of like, this is where I want to be part of, this is my thing? I have quite a vivid memory for that of me.
Yeah.
So do you have like a kind of anecdote for us?
Yeah,
there,
no,
something
sure.
like that?
I mean, less than an anecdote, more. I can package it all together. I was
Yeah.
like 10 or 11, and we had like a family computer.
Reference, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, there
We
you
had
go.
a family computer, and I would like download cracked games on it and stuff. I was like torrenting stuff, like 12, maybe 12. Yeah, 11 or 12.
Very normal for that
and
time.
like
Very normal.
didn't have any bank, so it wasn't like buying stuff. So I had I had Minecraft on there, like cracked Minecraft, offline Minecraft. I had
like private servers or like?
Oh no, just single player.
Hell.
The
I
win
can
not
confirm
fair.
it's 8 majors for Hugo, by the way. We've
8
got our guy on
majors
it.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Wow. I'll take that. If we count Berlin, maybe 9, or maybe that's the 8th.
We'll go with the 8th.
We'll go with the 8th.
Keep going, sorry.
I downloaded Minecraft was the first thing I downloaded because obviously I was 11, and I also got 1.6 on there. And no, sorry, not 1.6. I got Source. I played 1.6
Good game.
after Source for some reason, but my friends were playing Source, I think, and I played CS Mansion. That was the first map I like vividly remember.
map as well, yeah.
Really fun map. Playing against bots, like me just running around shooting bots. Played that for tens of hours, not many. Like a bit offline CS because it was all cracked, and then. My first game I actually bought when I got my Steam account was COD 4. I have a similar story to Alex, like playing Pro Mod. He obviously was way more in it than I was. This is pre me knowing esports. I played a bunch of Pro Mod, played that online, played pretty well. And then CSGO came out, and that's when I got hooked. I played like the first year. I did the same thing as everyone else. I disappeared for a year, didn't play it, played COD 4 for a few years. If you remember, the CSGO beta was so bad. It was unplayably bad.
It was atrocious.
And I much preferred Source.
What was so bad about it? Because I was like 11 or 10
I
or
guess
something.
I'll jump in my own personal story here. I was part of the first group of people to be flown out to Valve in 2011. It was me, my team Epsilon at the time. So that was like me, HooXi, Willzu, MX and Stinger, I think. That was the team. We got flown out. And then they also flew out very games as well, which is like HooXi, RPK, etc., etc. So we got flown out there, and they said it was like this is the sequel to Source. This is the next big thing. And like, they'd made it a game that was so fucking terrible. I can't even tell you. Like the P90.
Do you remember the fog? The
fog of war.
Everywhere fog. You can see.
Dust 2, you looked up like on CD side towards T-Spawn, completely covered in fog.
So bad.
Also, everything just felt like it was made for Xbox. It felt like it was a console. That's where the buy wheel comes from. CSGO, like you kind of remember it as a wheel.
It was designed for console.
It was,
Hidden Path was
it released on console first, or was it the same time?
No, it was originally supposed to be a console release, and Hidden Path picked it up and said this can be the next PC release. But the idea was like the AK was terrible, the M4 didn't work, the P90 and the Bizon were the best weapons in the game, and it was just like it just felt so clunky, and like nothing worked. And like people said the same thing about Source when it first came out as well, though, right? And it's just like eventually, obviously, that's the Valve way. It comes out terribly. Left in the oven for a few years, it comes out. It's an amazing game. We're kind of there with CS2 right now.
Yeah, we are.
But it is the trajectory of every Counter-Strike that comes out. CS2 getting to a place where it feels like it's a decent game right now, but it's still playing catch up with its predecessor, which is like kind of a wild thing to say even to this day.
That being said, I still think like CSGO actually really quickly got good. Like if you compare the 2013 to early 2014, and then you look at like Cologne 2015
within
major,
2 years it was good.
That was the first major I went to as a fan, Cologne 2015. The game was really good by then. The game felt really good in 2015 rather. So they pretty quickly figured out a lot of the like bullshit in the early CSGO.
Going from your time as like playing those early days, did you ever have any like team experience or like competitive?
Played open. I wasn't really a competitive player. Like I just played a lot, played with my friends. Like classic commentator story. Casting my knife rounds, if you will.
That was it. Okay, and they said,
rounds
actually,
like that.
You sound like that dude who already does this.
We've seen this before, and then built up from there. And I actually I did small Facebook group casting. We had like a UKCS Facebook group. We were running like tournaments for fun. I was casting them, and it just kind of built. And
what was the first tournament you did?
The first like real tournament.
Yeah,
I was like 17. I was in school, and I got flown out to game show. 200. This is crazy. 250k LAN.
Right.
Had never.
I pulled him out of school for that.
I didn't know what a fucking GSL group stage bracket was. I remember I have this awkward memory.
So
of
am I
me
going to cast a knife round?
Me going to Striker, like. So yeah, can you explain this like format? How does it work exactly? It's like GSL groups, like 14 groups, like the most normal group.
You got the worst person to talk to as well.
And I'm like, so when if they lose the second game, they play this team, and he's like looking at me like I'm an idiot. I'm like 17. I've watched CS, but I'm not like nerding out on the format talk or following it super closely. I've done some online casting. That's it. And I somehow did some 250k LAN with Vince. I did terribly. The VODs are hopefully not out there.
When you say terribly, like, were you nervous?
Nervous, 17, like wearing an oversized, my dad's oversized button shirt probably, and just looking like a general idiot.
So you didn't feel like you were like a natural talent? It's something you've really had to grind at and get into?
I enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed it, and I was like confident, but I also didn't. I think the biggest thing for me was like not knowing how to use my voice. So like if you go back, listen to my really early casting.
You should have asked me. We've got the same voice.
Yeah, that's well, I've kind of modeled my style in a way. It's like not knowing how to project and how to obviously I was like probably squeaking or on the edge of squeaking at 17, but like knowing how to project and how to present, and that's something I've modeled myself after you, Henry. Obviously,
thank you. Both of you started super young. You started when you were like 17 as well, right?
Yes, just turned 17. My first event was the ECS Season 5 finals.
Oh yes, classic.
Was that the one where you were like the competition winner?
Yeah.
I remember I was in the green room and they brought this little boy in. And
shut up, little boy.
That's like it was like a Make-A-Wish moment. It was just like he walked in and it was like James Bartoff comes up and goes, "Oh, can you just be nice? These kids are coming in. They brought a competition." It was totally fine. Like they got to hang out with him and Hawk, and just hanging in the green room. They were nice enough, but it's like people just thinking, "What the fuck are they here for?" Like whatever. But
I definitely like got that vibe because I came in. I knew that it would be super weird. Like all these like professionals. I'm just a kid going into the room. Then I go up there super nervous, and the first thing I cast is an arena game in front of like actual people. and there's a whole minute silence eulogy for sadly a kid who's passed away, and they're just like, yeah, just gonna drop this ball on you right now. You're just gonna gonna do this.
Minute silence. I remember watching that game. A minute silence into. All right, guys, and we got Astralis Cloud9. Big game of the day here.
Oh
Everybody's been talking about it. Let's just bring
that.
the energy back up. It was
I
really,
forget so many
hard.
details like that. I
hard.
didn't start when I was 17. I started this job when I was 25.
Probably more well-adjusted at that
Yeah.
point.
I'm not even
like-
25 yet.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So crazy.
I quit my full-time job to do this stuff. So like, there's just the comparative, like, of you guys starting before you even got. Did you go to university or
No.
So neither of you did, right?
Fresh
Like,
out of
obviously,
school,
could have
yeah.
done, but like, you
Glad
saw
I
this
didn't,
opportunity.
yeah.
Waste of time, waste of money. Trust me. I'm someone who
Scam.
I went like it's. If anything, the only thing I will say about university is stay in school. Like, obviously,
Great party
so this is an option for everyone. But for me, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew it'd be in video games, but it's like I wanted the people skills. I knew that I wanted to live away from home and kind of get that life experience.
Right.
But yeah, like kind of interesting. You guys took that punt. That like normally people would make it work out, but you both actually converted it. Pretty good.
Somehow. And I do feel like I had this conversation with Alex Machine one time. He was saying, we were talking about not going to uni. I said, this kind of feels like uni, though. You live away from home. You're hanging out with everyone.
Got the prefects.
Couple of good parties. Got the prefects. You got the bat.
You the head boy, Henry.
I was at one point. I wouldn't say
of
anymore.
course.
You've been demoted now, or what?
Yeah, I was like, what is there's like American Pie films at the fraternities. I was like a leader of one of those, perhaps. I wouldn't say I was like officially any
Right,
sort of
okay.
like professor or
Fraternity
something.
leader.
Fan favorite, not as much teacher's pet.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my role. I definitely wasn't like in charge of anything. But yeah, it's kind of still like you've both been around for such a long time now. It's just but you started
Time flies.
so young. It's just you're
Well,
27 now, and you started to be doing it 10 years.
Yeah, 10
if my math is correct.
And 8 majors, actually. Lock it
Eight
in.
majors,
10
including
years.
Berlin, I believe. from the
Including
screen.
Berlin.
Wow.
Well, the
So-
talent roster's changed overall, throughout the years. So and we've got some roster changes to talk about. Because
That's why he's the host.
We're getting into
Yeah.
the
That's
deep
segue.
dive.
Here we go.
Well, let's talk
Counter-Strike.
about them
Hugo's
because-
segment is over.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there is a lot of them to talk about, and I think the one that most people are sad about is the fact that Simple did not join FaZe. Now,
Million
Why-
bucks.
I mean, like,
At least.
I think they're more sad about it. It's just simple, full stop. It's not about him joining FaZe. They just wanted to be on
Right, they
any,
didn't want him to
any
play,
team.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like, it was cool to see him at the major. It was interesting. He had some good games there. I think everyone's going to remember that quarterfinal, unfortunately. But he did just drop off completely.
He said he was scared. He said he was nervous.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the gravitas of the game and the stage. He's got the whole world tuning in to watch him. Like, the viewership
Yep.
for his games in particular were up like 40%
Record-breaking.
over
Yeah.
everyone else, who is insane. And I think that's what gets to him more. It's not about the game scaring him. It's just like the pressure he's feeling from the crowd, from the audience, from the talent, from himself. And I feel like it's just kind of like come to this huge boiling point since he's been away for like a year. And well, how long has it been? 2 years?
Longer, yeah.
2 years?
When did he start?
he stopped
2023?
just before IEM Sydney, which was the first CS2 tournament. He didn't fly
Right,
out
so
to
yeah,
there.
and
Yeah,
that's
he
what I
went
said.
out
Like, he
there.
talked a lot of shit about CS2 as well, and he's sort of come back and essentially learned that game. It is severely different, but I don't know what your thoughts. I felt like it was still a great run. The context of him not really being part of a competitive team, coming back in for a punt. I thought it was an entertaining show. Disappointing, but overall, like, a good showing from him. But I wouldn't say let's sign him up right now. Like,
I mean, it's just all the contract jail situation. Right?
Exactly.
Like, it's like probably the rumors are, oh, it's $1 million, to get him out of Navi.
Oh.
And let's remember, the contract, in theory, the rumors again, working off of rumors here, ends in 6 months. So it's like, do you want to pay $1 million for 6 months
Definitely
of your
not.
FaZe? Do FaZe even have that money? Could they buy time for 6 months? I do find it interesting. Simple, like, don't know if this is how true this is, but he was like tweeting or saying in some video, like, I'm going to be playing, even if I'm not in FaZe, I'm going to be playing next season.
Sure.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know where he would go. I can't even.
Well, I mean, I
imagine
guess
a
if his
season.
contract does expire in that time, he would
But
imagine he would get a team.
The rumor is end of the year. So if I'm FaZe, for example, and I'm bringing in Brokey back, I'm saying, Brokey, you have 6 months and
prove yourself.
prove yourself, or we're going to get the free Simple.
It's actually not a bad
at the
shout,
end of the
actually. I
year.
didn't
That makes
consider that
sense.
angle.
That just makes sense if I'm FaZe.
Yeah.
If I'm FaZe and I'm Simple, it seems like everyone wants that deal to happen. It's
Because
just
he
a money
obviously
thing.
he likes the FaZe organization, the players a lot. Simple. It seems like he really vibed with them. They produced so much good content with him as well. They put out like 6 or 7 videos while he was there. They were all getting like 1 million hits within one day.
Wow.
So I feel like in terms of brand value he brings, and obviously the skill, if you can get him on a reasonable deal. The only reason I say it's not worth it is because he's expecting like not even 30K a month. He's like the 40K, 50K a month club with the buyout as well. Just economically speaking, it's just not worth it. Like in terms of like what you'll get on the output on the server,
mil.
brand value, surely you'll get like some good videos and stuff. But like, I feel like in terms of what the team need, $1 million to get that in. It's like, if you can get him on a really reasonable deal, sure, let's do it. But I'd imagine that Navi understand the value of having Simple attached to the Navi brand still, even if it's 6 months left on his contract. Still feel like it's not worth FaZe right now. And they've got Brokey on the bench, so you might as well see if you can get him out of his slump, get him out of the hole, which should be the case. It seems like after the video I saw, at least they convinced me. It seems like he's ready.
I think a break is good. I think we'll get into this more later.
Yeah.
But like, I think a break is, with how packed the schedule is and how many events players are going to, I think taking 2, 3, like JL, temporary, stepping back from competition, like I do think that players get burnt out pretty quickly in the scene. And I think if you're a tier 1 player and you're someone like Apex, I just don't know how he's still doing it at like the top level. It's very impressive with the amount of events in a calendar. For example, as talent, if we go to all the events of a season, even then most of the time we don't, that's intense on every level, mentally, physically, and that's not including when you go home. You have to prac. We go home, we get to reset, watch the events,
and it's not the same level of pressure. Like it's not like one split decision. I guess it can in a way, but in terms of can like one
competition,
one mismanaged move or one shot miss can cost you like your teammates going, oh, we could have done everything.
Yeah, not to compare like how easy our job is.
I know, but there definitely is like some kind of like comparatives you can make. But overall, I feel like it can get to a lot of people, and especially remember these are all young men that have never had like a real job, as it were. They kind of started this at a very young age and kind of thrown into the limelight very early on. So managing all that pressure, like I think it eventually gets to a point where you hit that initial first slump and you're not expecting it. That's the problem where things can like fall apart for you.
I think if you're Brokey as well, that young man angle is massive, because he came into this FaZe team as like a teenager. You wouldn't really know if he was going to stick around, right? And he's just been in that same team the whole time. He was there when Yanko was there as the coach, and that feels like an eternity ago. And so Brokey's basically become an adult inside of that team and like gone through all life's changes and pressures of life, while also having to be a high-performing player for FaZe. So a lot of players get at least different environments, different teammates, and you get to change it up a little bit. Brokey's literally been in the same thing for his entire early adult life. So I think a couple of months off is probably good for him.
Who else
skill
changed
ceiling
roster?
So high.
Who else changed roster? It's got to be a big
NAVI,
one.
obviously.
Oh, yeah?
Did you watch the JL video?
No, I didn't.
It was actually pretty much exactly what we're talking about. He was saying that he's recently got married and he has no time to focus on anything like his family life, working on himself as an individual. He wants his like activities and hobbies he wants to get into. It's just not an option right now. I do feel him on that front, like not to compare, but like when I was in the peak of my commentary, like it was just like you felt like you couldn't really keep up with friends or family, or even start like if you want to do like a once a week boxing class, you couldn't do that because you're just never home. You just fall behind. And like he said, he wants to do like he wants to go to the gym more. He wants to start MMA. He bought a drift car. You know what a drift car is?
A car that you drift in.
Just a little drift in. Yeah,
clues in the name. Really.
He wanted to do that.
So he quit playing to
He wanted to start motocross. I watched this today. What else did he want to do? Basically, and he said if I injure myself, it wouldn't be good for the team. So I want to be able to do these things the next 6 months. I think that was more.
Clearly, wasn't enjoying it towards the end.
Obviously, that wouldn't be the only reason, but it's just like the stuff like the results and like I'm not sure so much pressure, but in terms of like. I think the vibe in the NAVI camp needed to change. They needed to kind of inject some new life into it. And it felt like that was such a disastrous 2025 for them. It couldn't have gone any worse, really. Like a team that's expected.
Especially because they were the team of the year last year, right? So many grand finals in a row, so many championships, and they're just not even close to that anymore.
He says, I'm not sure if I'm the problem, but let's see if I am. I'll be co-streaming every single one of their games and cheering them on. Yeah. So I think that's super cool.
His content's huge, though. Like, that's the other thing. His YouTube channel is massive. He gets great views. He collabs with, like, Onipixel, and they do, like, great videos together. He's not only... He does Valorant videos, too, which actually get like a lot of higher viewership.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So
like him playing Valorant?
Yeah, like he plays Valorant on stream and then he'll clip them and turn them into videos. And I think he has that sort of.
Bro thinks he's Nika does.
He has that ability to sort of cross over into the into the other side of things.
What I find interesting about the Navi stuff is I remember seeing a rumor. Again, we love rumors here, but a lot of them, are based on something. In that Navi asked NPL from Bait.
Yeah, that was pretty
back.
Cool. Yeah.
And the reason that's interesting is
because he told him to go fuck himself.
Well, no, not just that's a whole other thing. But it's like he's actually in-game leading for Bait. So were they trying to replace Alexi? Is that the angle, or did they just want to put him in different roles? Like, how deep are the troubles in Navi? Like Blade has said, it's not something where you can just look at this team and go, oh, one guy's let us down, and like he's clearly the guy to replace. And I think we can say the same as well. Even from looking at their major win back in Copenhagen, it's like that was just a team win. What was the stat? They like lost more rounds than they won, and they won a major. So it's like that's a team win.
That's a
good
a good team win.
It's not. It's not like you can look at one player on the team and say they're always underperforming. If anything, I'm surprised. Wonderful wouldn't be someone on the chopping block, but I also think just how they use him, he's not going to be Monasi. He's not going to be Zyber.
And I guess that goes back to the kind of discussion of simples on their bench as well, right?
Yeah,
so,
I get Navi not throwing him in the main team over
just
Wonderful
to mention it.
Like, I think that's the other thing about simple as well. Going back to our earlier conversation, is like there's very few teams where we can actually fit in. I think FaZe is one of the only teams that could actually probably use
Support
simple.
that kind of
So I'm going to
Yeah.
set my watch for 6 months. It's not a watch, by the way. I'm going to set it for 6 months, and we're going to see him back. Surely.
What is it?
It's just a.
called-
it's a brand name.
It's
Ouya, it's one of those
No,
things.
it's a
it's a
sleep
week,
track.
it's a week.
It's a
Sleep and exercise. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Bit has one. Bit from Navi actually, and Chad bought one.
Chad does have
There you
one.
go.
Yep.
Use the referral link.
You made me say the brand. Okay.
Mr. Byron. Well, the player that is replacing JL is Makazi. He's a Kosovo player, 18 years old. He had
Is he from Navi Academy, right?
Yeah, he's from the Navi Academy. He's only 18 years old. Great numbers against that the level of competition he's been playing against.
I'm 20 years old.
Spirit Academy really took the cake of all the attention with the Koyosuke stuff, especially like before he joined Falcons. It was always, everyone talk about Spirit Academy, look at Koyosuke. But this team was Navi Junior were beating Spirit Academy almost every single time in the head-to-head. So like Koyosuke looks like the biggest talent out of those like 10 players, but this team was beating them almost every single time. So I'm not going to have any mind-blowing things about Makazi here, but yeah, I think obviously they had to.
It's worth a gamble, and if you have Blade to bring him in as well.
What I will say as well, like the fact that these like academy teams, they don't bear in mind they're not going to every single event as well.
Right.
It means when
they can't now. They've hit the top 30.
Exactly,
they can't go to the
exactly. They can't even do
They'll be
anything.
like, please buy our academy.
My point to that is like you can actually learn a lot from those sort of teams because they get to practice so much more. They get to like grind the practice games non-stop.
Cool nades.
They get to bring in they get to watch all the top level games, kind of like refine everything and like make it so fine-tuned. I think he can actually bring in that sort of experience. Like sure, he won't really have the experience of playing on the big stage or playing in the big high-pressure situations, but in terms of new ideas and kind of upcoming sort of like ideas and foundations and stuff, I think that's going to be really interesting to see what he can do and kind of what he can slot into the team. So I think it's going to be super interesting to see what he brings to the table, but who knows if it's going to work out. I think they're taking a bit of a Hail Mary as well.
Yeah, I like it. But Liquid are a team that have done that as well. They're keeping their roster. And I think everybody was expecting a Liquid change. Everyone was kind of thinking NAF was going to be the player maybe in the chopping block when you look at things. Liquid did not have a very good season. They thought bringing Shuei, I thought they was going to really elevate the team. Didn't necessarily do it that well. But it seems like a steady growth.
It's only so many. How much longer can we say
Steady growth.
Team Liquid need more time?
Steady
Yeah,
growth.
it's true. No, as in like it got better with Shuei, but just so marginally that like
Yeah.
First
it
event
feels
they
like
went
it
03.
feels like a move is needed.
It just every new roster, every iteration of it, just like I just keep hearing the same thing into it. So we need more time. We haven't worked this out yet. When are you going to work it out? Like for fuck's sake! Like it's been so many rosters, so many iterations now, so many different in-game leaders and ideas, and just like fuck me. Can we work this out? Can we just have a competitive? You've got a wealth of talent there. You've got the experience. You've got the backing. What is it? It's not clicking with this squad. And you watch So they didn't have a coach last season, right? That was like the main thing.
Mars the Rover.
I've spoken to that guy. He's a smart dude, and maybe he's not coach material, but I think that he's still going to be the analyst, right?
Sure.
And who did they bring?
Now
in?
they have
Flashy.
Flashy.
From
Navi,
Navi's
right.
analyst, and I don't know Flashy, but like, dude, you got a lot of egos on that team. You got a lot of like pieces to worry about. That's a hard team to manage.
Yeah.
Whether or not without even talking about the Counter-Strike on Team Liquid, it's like the personalities. I think is the hardest part of that job. Being a coach of that team. Talk to Jason. I don't know how he's going to deal with that. I don't have high expectations for Liquid next season.
Yeah, I don't know. Especially when you've been under Blade, who's just going to go in and tell everybody to listen to you. Like, now you've got to go in and do it yourself. It feels like Liquid, though, have made a lot of... They keep trying to be competitive, and they make a lot of moves that people want to see them make, right? I think they tried the whole weird rebuild with Patsy and Rainwaker. Obviously, that died really quick.
That was called the Dark Horses.
Yeah. The roster after that, though, we were looking at like, this is going to be insane. And then Cadian just like got 4 kills a map.
He fell off completely in CS2.
Where's he gone?
Like,
He's in China playing a show match.
That's in a tank top.
Honestly, not a bad move.
I want to go. Actually,
not a bad move.
I'll go commentate that, by the way. So if anybody...
True.
Yeah, for all the Chinese organizers watching this right now.
We will go to China. Just to be clear. We can play, cast, whatever you really need us to do, we'll go. But for Liquid, they're trying. It's not working. I thought
They tried the twisting game leader as well. Like... they're throwing everything at the wall, and it's nothing is sticking, like nothing at all.
They had Zeus as a coach recently as well, and you tried some.
I'm not touching that.
Some legacy, and that didn't pay off. So yeah, now you've got a bunch of new guys you're bringing in. Ultimate, Flash as a coach. We'll see if it works for Liquid.
Okay, just quickly on that. What do we think of Ultimate? Came in like scorching hot. Everyone was so excited about his first couple of tournaments.
Yeah.
Now he has. At the majors, it's like he had one really good map that everyone remembers, and then it's kind of like everything else is kind of.
It was the map to have it though, because then everybody gets rid of the blame from Ultimate.
Absolutely, but like, what are your thoughts on him as a player? Like, are you still excited by him as a prospect, or you just think he's an average kind of tier 1 AWPer?
Well, I think he reminds me a little bit of when HooXi first came in, because HooXi had a great start when he came into playing Counter-Strike and like at the top level, and a lot of people like Maui was highlighting the fact that he wasn't necessarily flashed as much. People don't really understand what his playstyle as an AWPer was, but as soon as people watch you a little bit more, they figure out your moves you like to go for.
Download your info.
Yeah, you can drop off, and HooXi got back to a great level. I think Ultimate it definitely has like the skill ceiling for it, but I think his first few weeks with Liquid were incredible and really hard to keep that up. But yeah, I think he's just a bit hit or miss, and I see so many just mental moments from Roland, because you see these moments where he has the knife and he goes with a pistol. What event was it? Katowice at the start of this year, where Chad walks out of the room while casting. Like he just has these
the trigger display on the bench.
Yeah, it's like sometimes he makes you pay the ultimate price, and I loved it. But you see that, you're just like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, so I think he's got a really high ceiling, and sometimes he's in the basement, and I think. I think he's got so much skill that I think, you give him time.
He doesn't feel like the problem, and well, that map certainly helped.
Sure. Yeah. Well, good luck to Team Liquid, I suppose.
Good luck to Team Liquid.
Best of luck to
Best of luck.
Do you want to see them win?
Would
I'll
love
just be
that.
clear. I think the team's cool. I guess, like, for me, if I'm being honest, I would have replaced NAF with JKS. I'd have begged JKS to come back. That
wouldn't have happened.
I know it wouldn't have happened. I know it.
That wouldn't have happened.
Justin ain't that kind of guy. Once you let him go, he ain't coming back. You had your chance.
You had your chance. Chad wouldn't let him. Chad wouldn't let him.
So you're not doing it. But JKS did in fact go back to Australia though, but a different roster. So
I'm actually hyped for that.
Yeah.
I think it's a sick move. I think it's
that really brings the floor up.
Yeah.
And the floor was, I don't want to even say it was like super low, because they've looked a lot better, FlyQuest, in the last like 6 months, even in the last year really. Sure. But I think that's really brought the floor
That's
up.
a blockbuster move.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what they needed. I think the team's going to be hyped about it. I think JKS will be super proud to be playing for the national team once again.
And hopefully it brings them to Europe more. I know that right now they are boot camping in Europe, but they're in our TeamSpeak all the time.
That's true. I wonder why are you guys using a European TeamSpeak? So they're in Serbia.
I'm pretty sure they're at ENAT right now.
Yeah,
so shout out
dude.
ENAT one
I
time.
think they're going to be dangerous this year. I think that's the final piece.
I think it's it's not a trophy-winning team, but I think it's a team that definitely get to play.
It was Liaz who replaced, right?
Yeah,
and he had a pretty abysmal 2025 season.
Because also Justin's now going to like anchor spots, right? He's playing Liaz's position. So obviously coming into firstly the role that he knows, and not I don't want to say not a star role, but like it's not a star role. It's
an important role.
It's an important role. It's a role where it's why I say the floor will raise because sites will be safer, CT sites will hopefully be better, and Regali looks really good on this team. I actually like this team a lot right now.
Just think of the player. Just think of the player JKS is now back in an Australian team since he left, right? Yeah. He's gone off. He's won Katowice multiple times. He's won Colognes. Like, this is a player that's gone and played with some of the best in-game leaders in Counter-Strike, and he's going to bring that back to an Australian team.
Yeah, and FlyQuest is no tin pot organization. No. They've actually got the backing to actually like have this sort of talent within them. So I think he's going to be happy there. And I think the fact they've actually got opportunities to boot camp for once instead of just like, we can't play against anyone in Australia. Like, I remember that was been the excuse for these guys, a valid excuse. Like for like they got to play like Pro League twice a year, and that was kind of the only experience they got. Now they actually get to the funding to actually boot camp and bring in JKS's experience from these top teams as well. I think they could be a dark horse.
Yeah, I think it's cool FlyQuest have invested. And I hope that it brings the team to boot camp in Europe for longer, because they were always going back and forth. And that can't be. I've done that flight once. That can't be good for you. That can't be good for you. Stay in Europe.
It's a real rough one.
So live in Europe, guys. Fuck it. Few years in Europe. Play all the CS. Justin will hopefully keep
it for the boys.
I like that they have Australian players, but they also have Regali coming, who's based in Europe too. JKS has been based in Europe, so I think you're absolutely right. I think we're going to see them in Europe all the time, and that should just completely elevate their performances. For FlyQuest,
I want to see them in some playoffs, man. Put them on a stage.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Not really. We haven't seen FlyQuest get to the stage in a very long time. I think Challenger. That was it. The way they won that tournament. So Challenger Atlanta, so that was the tournament.
Throwing it back.
Well, we also seen Spirit make a roster move. They got rid of Magix, who has been there for so long. I remember
It's a real shame for them, especially for the talent as well. He was the only one who really could give at least a fun interview.
Yeah.
Now
the
he's
only
gone.
one.
Yeah.
You remember that Donk interview like the one with Banks and Austin?
That was the
Here are
roughest
Donk's
one, yeah.
answers. No, yes.
Okay,
no.
can we just get
Those
into
are
that for a
his
second?
answers.
Like, is he,
locked in, Henry. Locked in.
I get that.
Game
I
day,
I
locked
appreciate
in,
that.
I think to be fair, I think people had their influence on him, and like originally he
was way more talkative.
He was way more talkative.
He was actually
but
like,
I also
he
think,
had the kind of like.
I think these players get bored of the questions. They really get bored, and on a game day, you're not going to get shit out of that guy.
Sure, you don't have to do much, but like you don't yes and no, and like it just makes you look
It's
like
part
a
of the job,
massive
but-
twat. I'll be
Well,
honest. Like,
he's making a statement. I think.
I get it. Like I understand it. I think he's like portraying like is it like an anime character that acts like that or something
I
like
have
that?
no
I don't know
I
what
don't
the
know.
angle
You
is.
you said it's a phase, Henry. Is that what we're
I
saying?
don't know what.
He's a young guy, Henry.
don't-
Give him some time.
You could just like I don't know
You're going
any
to give
other.
Liquid some time. You can give Donk some time.
I'm just saying I don't know any other
No,
sportsman that handles himself in that sort of way. I just
No,
feel like
and what organization?
you can be like kind of obtuse. You don't have to be like just one word Andy though. Like you can give like. No, I don't feel that way. You can be rude as well. I would just say, give me more than one word.
Yeah, one
that's
word
my
is-
only feedback.
I'm with you. It must be a hard job to interview.
And I
So
think
Zway's going to do all the interviews now. Probably not, though, because I remember interviewing Namiga at a pro league, last pro league, and I was doing a lobby, and I was like, who can I talk to? They're like, anyone but Zway.
anyone but Zway.
Anyone's but Zway, because he was the youngest, 17,
Right.
English. Like, he's going to be able to speak it for sure. But he wasn't confident enough to do the
Yeah,
interviews.
he's
I
not
told
exactly to be
everyone
throwing
else.
himself out there. So
You
who
know
are we
what
going to be getting Zontek's interviews only? Is that what we're looking at now?
Well, I don't. Sorry,
Like,
you
come on,
want
guys.
You want the crazy take, the crazy person over
Yeah.
here. Why the fuck is Chopper not doing every interview? He's the captain.
He did it at the major,
He
to be
did.
fair.
He did that exit.
Yeah.
He's the captain. He does speak English. Maybe he's not confident, but he can speak it basically as well as anyone else
Yeah.
on that team. I think he should be doing more interviews. He can actually give us a better insight as well.
Yeah, that
I
would
don't
be
know why
good.
I don't know how he's gotten away with like giving it to the kids and being like, "Hey, you guys just deal with all the media."
True,
and
we
I'll
gave
just-
Astralis so much
I
shit
don't-
for that.
I don't speak English. You do speak English. You
Yeah,
do.
we've
You speak
heard you.
English.
Yeah.
You've done it now.
Yeah.
You've released
Especially,
it.
especially in those moments where you go out of the tournament, you're sending out like some young kid to do it for you. Like
He did do it at Austin.
and
I'll give
Austin,
him
yeah,
that,
for
but
sure.
I want more of that
But
next season.
We'll see. We'll see how that.
The
that
roster
goes down.
change, though, if you want to get into that.
The nitty-gritty.
I feel so bad because I just feel like this is all just the fallout of Shanghai, because you know what would have happened, Henry? If they
would have happened then.
If they fucked that final up, if Magix didn't life
Okay,
game, they
all
would have
right.
just brought in QC.
True.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what they would have done. Let's be real. They would have just replaced Magix then.
I didn't
and
consider
now
that, yeah.
that's exactly what would have happened. And you know what? You want to know the worst part about this? I don't even blame them for giving Magix a season, because he won them a major
Dude,
final.
he played so well,
He
and
won them a major final, give him the season, and now Kurisuke, I'm all just guessing here, right? But this is my
Sure,
favorite
no, I
part.
like it. I like the
He
energy.
probably got mad. He was like, why the fuck haven't I, promote me,
Sure.
put me in the main
That's
team.
that was my
and now
opportunity.
it's been 3 months. He's like, I'm not in the main team yet. Magix is still playing. They're middling out. They're having a bad season. And then he's like, fuck it, I don't want to play in this team anymore. Boom, Nico Monacy, I'd take that deal as well.
yeah, you get given that big bag
Damn.
as well from Falcons. They probably can't compete with the offer.
Bag, Nico,
They're gonna give
Monacy.
him.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Kasuke said that when he goes to Tier 1, the deal that he has on the table is they're going to fly his mom out to live with him in Serbia too. So he's going to have his family move with him, and so Kasuke's not even going
That
to.
is wild.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
know that.
so
that.
his mom is going to come live with him, and so he has everything he needs.
How
right
old is
there.
this kid? Like 17,
Yeah,
18?
he's the same.
17,
Yeah,
18,
he's 17. Yeah, but he's obviously been involved with quite a few controversies on the internet so far. But I think he's
Very
going to have a
interested.
developing personality. I think we're going to have some great interviews in Kasuka. I think we might get
Yeah,
some
I
of the
think he
most
could be
match.
fun. I think he could be fun.
Yeah. I think they're probably going to bring him into the room for PR and train
And
him up
he's
first.
essentially like an anchor player as well, or like
No.
I'm talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Zway.
Zway, yeah.
He's
Zway-
like Tisa. He's like a lurker, extremity player. He's kind of like an old JKS,
Yeah.
like, in that sense. He's on the other side of the map,
Sure.
like making space.
Yeah.
But CT side, he is an anchor in a lot of sites.
Yeah, so like for Zway,
Yeah.
like it does make sense in terms of team spirit
yeah.
right now, getting Magix in and
Yeah,
Zway's
you'd
going
imagine you're going to
through.
see Chopper and him kind of duo up together and play together a little bit. Like
Yeah.
you know you're coming into this role, this team, knowing that you're never going to be a star player. You just need to do your job.
I hope this can make their T sides better. Like if he's, because I Spirit don't. Like they're a pack team, like not quite as far as Aurora, but they are a very pack team, and like
Right.
we keep seeing this team like change who's entering. Like it obviously was Dong for the longest time. Then Chopper started going in first, especially on maps like Anubis, and now even at the major, I saw so many games where Zontix was like the first guy in. I'm like, what's happening? I don't even know who's who's entering on this team anymore. So if they have this like pack on one side of the map and they have Zwei on the other side of the map, I think that could be fun. No. I don't really know. I think it's probably the best move they could have made, given they lost.
An interesting conversation is that Magic's was when you see him at events walking around, him and Donk were always like right beside each other, great friends hanging out. After the show, Donk did that interview or that tweet after it saying, he was the best teammate he's ever played with in his short career. He thinks that he's exactly what he wants as a teammate. He's gone, so I'd imagine they go and they ask, who do you want to play with? Who do you want to replace? And we have to make a move. And Zwei was the prediction for Donk's bold prediction for the top 20. So, obviously, looking into that, obviously they hold him in high regard.
He's super skilled. Like, there's no doubt about that. It's Counter-Strike wise, he can play the game very well. Very good time to kill. Very mechanically skilled.
And the Kasuke thing, right? That's always an interesting point. Do you think Spirit messed up there? Do you think they should have?
Like I said, I think I don't blame them for the decision.
The proof will be in the pudding, Adam.
Yeah, here's the other thing. Will he hit the ground?
Yeah, sure, he was great in tier 3, tier 4, like when he's playing in the academy rosters and stuff. Yeah. Can he hold his nerve and not bottle it in the big leagues? That no one knows. At least Zwei is tested and he's played at least to 1 CS, at least experienced it. I don't think we'll get that same output, but the talent's there, the mechanical skills.
I think the mindset's there too. He's got
he does seem ice cold. I'll give him that.
He seems like he doesn't care, and honestly, I do. The comparison with Donk is unfair because Donk is a phenom, and I don't think anyone will ever come close to his breakout. Yeah. But I do think if you've watched any Kyosuke demos or those POVs on YouTube, this guy is unbelievably good at Counter-Strike. He is. I think he will be really, really strong. I agree with you. It's just, will he bottle it? Will it be in his head? Will it be a mental thing? I don't know.
Because if you want to get the biggest paychecks and play on the biggest stages, a lot of pressure and expectation comes with that, and some people just don't make it. Some people crack under the pressure.
They're playing with Nico. That's a good thing, I think.
Dude, they might butt heads though. You can see that happening if he wants to come up as this new star.
I think everyone has to respect Nico.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you have to respect Dunk. Whatever happens, you have to respect Dunk.
He's 28.
Yeah, that's pretty compared to 17-year-old.
I thought Magic's was Unk on that team. Nico now taking the Unk role as Magic's has.
Yeah, you got grandfather Zonic behind them as well.
True.
He ain't gonna put up with that, you imagine.
Yeah, what was that? Sorry,
Grand Zonic.
Yeah. Okay, sure. We'll workshop that one.
Yeah.
The
Grand Dunk. Right, what's
Is
next?
That Rostermania
we've got Rostermania's out of there.
Okay.
We're done with the roster moves. We are just getting started
Pretty manic.
with Fischer. Fischer Playground's coming up. It's the first tournament out of the player break. We're going there tomorrow.
Yeah,
we are.
Belgrade.
Damn, we actually flying tomorrow.
Yeah, a couple hours from now, Henry. We're getting on a plane together. You better be ready.
I'll be ready.
And we're going to be going out to Belgrade, Serbia, where we have this $1 million tournament going on. Okay. And I think you look at the teams here. I think it's all the teams that need to get a head start in the season.
It's kind of wild. There's only one top 10 team there, right? Yeah. It's Furia. And the fact that we're saying this now, obviously with the VRS system now, every top team gets invited. The fact that only one top 10 team accepted the invite for $1 million tournament, I get it. It's just after the player break, but the fact there's one. Am I crazy?
Here's what I'll say about prize money. Players don't care about prize money.
Yeah, but the organizations do.
That's true, but I think
especially with the cut that you have.
This event's technically in the player break, right? Obviously, there's no mandating authority making.
I get it.
You can't run it. You can't go to this event. But I think it's good that the tier 1 teams have laid their foot down and said no, this is our break. And I think a lot of them probably need it as well, and that makes a better tournament in some sense because it's not a bunch of. Outside of the top 10 teams, then Vitality coming in and just sweeping it, we get to, like you see, who's the best of the rest.
Yeah, I think
best of the rest.
I think that's the way of looking at it. Well, Furia coming in are going to have high expectations. They just signed Yekindar on a full-time deal. I think they've looked really impressive. And
who would have thought they would have had that run of the major? I don't think anyone. It was one of those roster moves. I don't know when again when Team Liquid changes up their whole roster out of nowhere.
Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
The
That's kind of my point. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. It felt like one of those mad roster moves that everyone's just going what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense.
I remember we were all sitting. We were in Bucharest doing PGL Bucharest earlier this year when the move happened. We're all kind of sitting around celebrating someone's birthday, and we're just Prof just shows us the phone, and we're like, "What the fuck? Who is Molodoi? Who is this guy?"
So you moved from a Brazilian or Portuguese-speaking team to this international speaking squad of Yekindar, who's, let's face it, was washed last year. No one even wanted to take a chance on him whatsoever. No one cared about his career anymore, and he's kind of had a rebirth.
Playing in Liquid did to him.
Yeah, right. Kind of did him in. A few people in that project got absolutely messed up, but. He was looking pretty sharp at the major. I thought he was looking good.
His Astana was, because remember, they went to Astana right before this, and Harry and I were there, and they made it to top 4. They like lost the third place decider, but they won a map versus Spirit in the playoffs. They beat them on train.
Yeah.
Yekindar was like running out main, getting behind Olaf box, like double
Confidence
kill,
is back.
entering donk round after round. Like they looked really, really good. Yekindar looked super reinvigorated.
I bumped into him in Dallas in the player lounge, and he was just super high energy and positive. And I think for the last few months or even years that we would just see him.
Can do.
Yeah, exactly. And another Latvian who's taken a short break and come back and got better. So maybe Brokey can do the same. But that's FISSURE coming into the event. Pain are just outside of the top 10. They're an 11th ranked team. They had an incredible major. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up.
They had a pretty terrible year at an amazing major, right?
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah, they had a terrible year, I think, and I think they were starting to just completely fall off. I was starting to lose faith in them.
Well, no, okay, let's put their year in context though. Pain went to 4 events in a row without their full roster. They didn't even have.
That's a very good point.
They built this team at the start of the year. They didn't even fucking play it to the major.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure that I'm ripping the stat from someone else, maybe talking counter. It's like they played 10 maps with this 5 before the major. They've played 30 maps with this 5, 20 of them at the major. That is, I've ripped that, but it's true. They had stand-ins, they had coaches, they had academy players, they had everyone but this full team because of visa issues, because of whatever.
And
so it was hard to have any faith in them. I had no belief they were going to make a run because I hadn't seen anything from this full 5 until they hit the major.
True, that's a great point because even in Astana they didn't even have their full roster for the whole event. You know, they started the first couple of games, they had a stand-in, then they brought their full roster in for the rest of the tournament. So yeah, that's interesting. I think Pain, if everybody gets here and there's no visa problems, which there surely won't be, they might even already be ready to go to Serbia. I think Pain can definitely.
Have you been over the format? Just so people know,
it's good, isn't it?
It's a good format.
It's a strong format.
It's a very good format. It's Striker's favorite. It's the four-team GSL group.
$1 million.
Classic. $1 million. Single Island playoff bracket. 8-team playoff bracket.
Best of 5 final.
No straight to semi-finals.
That's true, actually. It actually is the perfect format, right? Just wanted to cover that.
It is one of the goated ones for sure.
Yeah, you can't complain about anything in this tournament. Apart from, I guess,
do you want to do a light group prediction?
Yeah, let's do it.
Try and run through the groups.
Yeah.
And
so
what we think.
In Group A, we got FISSURE, Gaming Legion, Wildcard, Saw. I have no faith in Wildcard after the move, and I have no faith in Saw. So I think that's just a group
they got rid of
FISSURE,
Stanislaw and FuZi, right?
Yeah.
Who's on Saw right now? I couldn't even tell you.
Well, they just got rid of
Portuguese.
They just got rid of their two.
Oh, they brought in
they got rid of Azuwu, right?
They brought in some younger Portuguese.
Oh, it's all Portuguese now.
But NIP just got rid of Aras Dos yesterday.
Yeah, but he ain't coming back to Saw.
That would be pretty interesting if that comes back. But yeah, they've got Aragorn, King of Men, and Crazy coming into the team. So they've gone back full Portuguese. I think they realized that bringing the UK player in doesn't work for everybody.
Surprised because their Pro League was pretty good. Remember,
the Pro League was great.
It
was amazing.
Yeah.
And then it just went completely wrong from that. Anyway,
this group's kind of easy then.
Group A,
Gamer Legion,
Wildcard. Who have they replaced FuZi and
FuZi and Stan with
I've read it. It's in my mind's eye.
I mix up the NRG lineup when I think about exotic. It's not exotic.
You're right, though.
Open it up.
It would feel like a travesty. Yeah. Have you got the mouse? Oh, peeping.
Oh, okay.
And who else?
Have you got your mouse? Oh, friend from the academy team,
right.
Orpa. He actually stood in for, I think it was a challenger event for them last year or a year or two ago.
Okay.
He looked good. He actually looked really, really good. But yeah, not proven. Safe. FISSURE safe. Gamer Legion probably.
Yeah, I say those two teams.
Okay, so it has to be FISSURE, Gamer Legion. I think that's fair.
Right. Group B, 3D Max, Pain, Lim Vision, Adam. We got 2 of the Chinese teams in here.
Lim Vision
have been so exciting after that major in Austin.
They stole our hearts.
They really did. But they've been playing that show match. A lot of those players have been involved.
What was the show match everyone's talking about? I missed the show match. What was the show match?
There's a big show match in China, and they flew Nico, Monacy, Kenny S,
Scream.
Was it Tyler? Or did Lim Vision
No, Emilio was there, and Gio was there. So I think he just brought all the big sort of players in from there. I didn't watch the game, but
I think Tyloo played it.
Well,
was it it's the best of one show match?
Not sure of the details, just know what happened.
Okay. There were 2 matches. There was a Dust play and an Ancient play, but I think it was Tyloo both, but I could be wrong, to be honest.
Anyway,
Cadian had a tank
players were there.
That was what mattered.
There were Chinese players there. Some of them will be here in Belgrade. And we've got Lim Vision, Rare Adam. I feel like the better of the two is there is Lim Vision to make it through. But then you got Pain 3D Max. Now, this seems like quite a close group near those top 3 spots.
I saw 3D Max got a new coach today. I don't know who it is. 3D Max got one, but they got a new coach from what I believe. What is that?
You know?
You know him? Yeah. So
Do you know you know?
I don't know,
You know,
I'll be
know.
honest, but I'm just saying maybe that will inspire the boys, rally the troops. That's all I've really got for you on the 3D Max Inside right now. We've got a new coach.
They
and
could win,
They wouldn't
Henry.
replace the coach unless there was a problem before. So presumably they're fixing the previous problem.
Or this coach.
And now they'll be absolutely fine to win this group. It's kind of my insight
Okay.
to this whole situation. Don't know who their previous coach was.
You know
Gonna put that
something?
out there. I don't even know who it
Was
was. Do you guys know
Yes,
who the last?
Was it?
I can't remember.
Wasing?
Wasing.
Oh,
yeah,
now you
Wasing.
know.
Yeah.
Wasing.
I know.
After he
You
told
know,
you,
now
you
you
know.
know. You know what?
Okay.
Right.
Anyway,
but
what was the point?
Yeah, we're looking at who's going to make it through.
Yeah,
I've
favorites.
got Pain Limb Vision. I'll
Okay.
go 3 Max loose, and we got Pain Limb Vision going
I'm
through.
going to stay with my coach angle, 3D Max.
You know,
It's a strong
you know to the
angle.
top.
It's a
good
strong angle.
You know to the top.
I think I'm just going to pick all the favorites for these groups, guys. Being real
All right,
with
Group
you.
C, VP
Here
Astralis,
we go. This is the real interesting group.
and made in Brazil.
MIBR with changes as well.
Stralis with HooXi now.
Oh, yeah, they looked really good.
I'm actually super hyped. For
Yeah,
that. I
dude,
actually,
I'm so happy for him.
like,
Let's go for
no troll aside, I feel like that's just what they need. Again, another team that's been experimenting with every fucking idea. Device in game leader, Cadian, double orb in game
orb.
leader. Hasn't worked, guys. Can we just keep it traditional?
Put him in the tank top, Henry.
Let's just get a traditional in-game leader. Sure, he hasn't been known for his fragging ability, but he is known for his hard work and good team ethics. I think he'll bring a lot to the table. It's just what you need.
And
I
you
mean,
know
look
what,
at the
Henry?
trophies he's won. Like,
Another player coming back off of a break, and it's all about the breaks here. There are breaks on this train.
Yes, but he has had a break where he's been focusing on
No,
himself.
that's what I mean. That's a good thing.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
I'm saying it's a good
Sorry,
thing.
I thought you meant like he'll drop
because
off.
towards the end of G2, it was like, oh, this guy's like in his head. That's what people are saying. He's in his head.
Sure.
You know, he's got a bad mental. Like he needs a break. He
Right.
said he needed
Understandably,
He
like
definitely
he was like a meme for all the wrong reasons. I know
Yeah.
he embraced it well, but it's like just
No,
being
it's-
talked about like
the
being the
joke
Giga
is,
Chad when you're
yeah.
bottom fragging, and it's like that's probably not. Like,
Or,
you're,
you know,
you're
you have
laughing along with
Facade.
it, and I feel like it's just not a good
The
place.
joke
to be.
is that you're bad. That's not
Yeah,
fun,
and it's
Henry.
just like
Yeah.
he was joining in with it and embracing him, and it's like God, it's
then-
not going to be a good feeling.
And then you have people coming on, saying that you're the reason Nico didn't win a CS:GO major. Like,
That's
like
funny.
the whole pressure on that.
I hope one day we get to have a desk with Casada and HooXi on it once more.
I mean,
like,
HooXi
just
came
one more
on.
time.
He
But
goes
that's-
hard.
He came on a desk with Casada at what, Cologne?
Right.
And he came on with Richard as well.
You know what?
At the major,
Oh,
right?
he did.
Not the major, it was a PGL event. He came on with Richard after they did really well, and Richard's been one of his biggest critics.
Yeah.
And
They
kind
hashed
of,
it out.
They hashed it
They
out.
hashed
That's
it
the way
out.
it should be.
Yeah.
Just hashed
It
out.
was
It's all
amicable.
good.
It was good. And
Yeah.
I think maybe we should get HooXi on the podcast sometime. if
That's a
that's
good idea.
possible. I think
I
that'd be
think-
great to have him on. And,
I think I can make that happen.
make sure you keep watching, and we might have HooXi on here sometime.
We're going to try and have a guest every week.
Well,
That's our whole
that is
thing,
what we're
yeah.
going to try. We have enough friends that surely we can do it.
We have at least 4 friends.
Yeah, we
so
have
we've got
at
a
least
month's worth of
Hugo,
content.
you're going to be
Redeem
here
one of them,
once a month.
so-
We're going to have you here, all right? We've got the Group C then. VP Astralis, Tyloo, MIBR. I'm going to go with VP and not making it through. I'm going to go with Tyloo and
Ooh,
Astralis.
VP not making it
Yeah.
through.
I'll go with
Okay.
Tyloo and Astralis.
I'm so mad they got rid of Flammus, man.
Yeah, me too.
Generational talent.
contract.
And it's just like on the, was it 4 years?
4-year contract.
And it was one season and he's out.
And now he's not playing the season.
So Ash lost Flammers for nothing.
For this.
Game of
Yeah,
Legion was
For
like
this.
finally
Well, he
getting
got PR. Pretty good.
True, yeah,
Pretty good.
fair enough.
Gotta give him
That's true.
that.
PR is very good.
And then people were saying, he's not going to be playing anymore next season. And people were talking about the criticism of that, like saying he didn't even get to play his real roles or anything in the squad. And yeah, tough time there for Flammus.
He's one of those players, like he does need to be like kind of nurtured and kind of brought into a
Sure.
system and like not just thrown into someone else's
with
positions, I
electronic
think.
and
Yeah, I thought that was a real
Not known
shame.
to be the most
so for that
forgiving.
reason, I'm going to join you. I'm going to say Astralis, this out of spite. I'm going to go, Astralis and Tyloo as well. MIBR, I don't know, that they've changed roster recently as well, right? I don't know
Yeah,
a ton
they brought
about
in,
them.
I think they brought in Nix.
So what do you think, Hugo? You got
I'm going to go with VP just because I think
VP
they
Astralis?
can get out
Old
of the
school.
group.
VP
Yeah,
Astralis?
VP Astralis. They can get
all
out
right.
of the group.
Well, we'll wrap this out really quick. Group D, Heroic, Complexity, Big, Bet Boom. For me, quite clear. I think Heroic are the favorites of that group, and I'll go with Bet Boom making it through.
What?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, justify that. You can't just go. We'll go quickly. Anyway, the worst team in the group. They're going through. Why?
Because it's an event that's a bit smaller out of the break. I think this team have such a group of individuals that are so up and down, and if they just have a couple of good maps, I think they're just insanely good, and they could beat Big or Complexity.
Yeah,
Like,
click the
and
roster.
so-
Click the roster.
Yeah, I think this team are solid. I actually think the team's pretty good. You got Boomich, Axel, Siren, Magnajaz. That's enough for me. Like whoever they bring in is a pug team.
I don't even know who's AWPing on this team. Oh, Art Frost. Art Frost.
Art Frost.
Oh.
He's actually pretty decent,
He's a
to
good
be
player.
fair. If he turns up, he's actually
he was
pretty
on the
good.
Parivision, because if you look at the Parivision...
He was on Spirit before Shiro, you know.
Yeah, if you look at the Parivision bench, you could make a team out of the bench.
Yeah.
And Art Frost was one of those players, I'm pretty sure, on the Parivision bench, and he was... In Spirit, he was really good.
Right.
So,
interesting,
actually.
So you don't agree? You don't agree with me?
I still
who's
don't
going through
agree.
then?
You might have convinced him. I think he's on the fence.
No. I like Art Frost, but I still don't believe in that team. Complexity Heroic. Come on.
Complexity.
Heroic with some changes as well, right? So
Yeah, but that's some sick roster moves.
some really good ones. So the fact that Nilo's back in now, he didn't actually play a game in the original
he's
kind of
back.
announcement.
He's back,
No one knows
Henry.
what already happened there, but he's back. And I've heard that Grix is a phenom talent. I don't know much about him, I'll be honest, but he's also Belarusian like Tanir. They always wanted to play with each other. Tanir is like going to be a top 20 player. If not this year, next year, trust me on that. If Grix is like the same sort of level and Tanir believes in him, this is going to be a deadly roster. The only kind of question mark for me is youngster. Someone else who was tipped to be like this great next generation talent didn't really show up at the major at all. I felt like he was very underwhelming. I know he can be good. We saw him in Mongolia. I know he can be good.
Yeah, big personality too.
Yeah, exactly. Really nice guy, but I'd like to see more out of him. Heroic, they've probably had the best business in terms of selling players the last couple of years, and hopefully they can step up.
We can talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes, but overall, who have we got winning this competition?
I don't think it'll be Furia. I don't think it'll be that open shut. I don't know. I'm going to say Astralis. I'm going to Astralis. Yeah, for me, Astralis, HooXi. Imagine that moment, him just stepping up to the stage, middle finger in one hand, trophy in the other.
Right.
That's what I'm
like
thinking.
it.
Astralis Furia final.
I can go for a bold pick if you want.
Yeah.
The honeymoon heroic run. All the way. All the way.
Could happen as well.
It definitely
If Nilo
could happen.
comes in and he's hot, like when I saw him play in Academy, he was really, really solid.
Okay.
So
Could you tell me more about him? I obviously, like I said,
I don't have a lot.
Okay.
Academy looked really, really good. Stepped back, disappeared off that team.
disappeared.
Didn't
didn't play
by
one game.
Heroic,
That's what I really know.
Didn't play a game. Now he's back. I don't know. Clearly something's going on, like be it like personal or medical, I don't know.
Right.
But if he's got the right attitude, he's certainly got the skill.
Right.
Okay,
So
nice.
heroic, I like
Good
that.
cliffhanger.
Good
I like
little
that.
dark horse for the tournament, right?
Yeah.
That's Fischer. Now we can move on to a segment we're going to round out the show with, and that's buy, hold, and sell. Now, it's a concept we're going to come up with. Teams are hot on, players are hot on, anything we're really hot on.
We
in the
might come
scene.
up with a new name for the segment.
But, you know, this is the pilot episode, so we'll see how it goes.
Looking for funding.
Yeah, we'll
to
see
make
if
the season.
we'll see if we can take off. But we got some buys. Now, Hugo, what are you looking to buy in the scene at the moment?
So to come into next season, I'm buying FlyQuest. We talked about them a bit earlier. I think this is a team that is only going to rise after this roster change. They're bringing JKS in. Liaz was decent, but obviously he had his time, and I think JKS is a 1-for-1 upgrade, and they also play the same positions. JKS, as you said earlier, two-time Cato Cologne winner, very strong player. This is a team that already had made a big leap in terms of form in the last 12 months, even 6 months, even won a trophy towards the end of last year. And I think when you add like such a talented player that hopefully, as I said earlier, brings them into Europe more. Right. I think FlyQuest are going to make a run here at a couple of events. I could see them making some playoffs, maybe if things really click. I also think Netic is something going under the radar because obviously they've been losing a lot of their games, but like he is the next best thing, right? If you're looking for young talent in Australia or in the region, he is the next best thing. I think he's from New Zealand, but he's really, really strong. So JKS, Netic, Regali on this team, in-game leading. I think they're ready to go.
How are we doing this? We just said a thumbs up.
Yeah,
that's a buy.
I'm
convinced. I like it.
I would sell
like
it.
it.
Are you buying?
I'm going to buy as well.
I'm gonna buy as well.
Buying FlyQuest.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, I guess.
Thumbs up.
What are you selling, Henry?
I'm selling, like I said, I'm a bit of a HooXi fanboy right now. I'm kind of fully HooXi pilled.
Wait, you're buying HooXi?
You're buying
No, I'm Astralis in general.
buying
so
Astralis.
the concept
It's
of
on offer.
Astralis.
It is.
But
You can buy them,
I'm
Henry.
Straight up HooXi pilled for some reason. I think I just really like him. I think the vibe he brings.
Yeah.
I think the character he is. I like the way his teams play. I think it's really nicely structured. I think he brings out the best in his individuals, and I think he prepares really well for the weaknesses of his opponents as well. But when you watch their games, they identify a weak bomb site, and they'll just keep hammering it home each and every time. And like I feel like we're going to see Device come back under the kind of reins of HooXi as well. I'd
More
really like to see
structure.
him tying up. Yeah, I
love it.
I think Device needs that. Bear in mind,
That's
Device
who played
is
the best CS
exactly
under
under Glaive and the structured Astralis core. That's where we got the most out of Device. Now there's kind of like him being in, getting a Caden coming in. It's been a mess. And I think CS2 is a different game, and you do need the structure behind you to bring out the most of the players that are definitely not adapting as well as these like 16-year-old, 17-year-old phenoms. I feel like they have to bring in structure, and I think HooXi's going to do that. I don't know what's going on with the org. I know it's a bit of a mess. So I'm not buying the organization of Astralis. I'm buying the concept, the idea of the
team.
players.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I feel like that's for me. I just want to see HooXi do well. I want to see that guy get a win, and I feel like he could win this tournament. So I'm going to go. That's my buy. Give myself a thumbs up for that one as well.
Thumbs up.
Double thumbs up.
There we go.
For me, HeroiC, a team that I think this organization have done such a great job in business. I think this is an organization that's track record looks incredible now with the amount of players they brought in and built up and sold off. I mean, they brought in this new trio that they sold to Falcons for big money, and now that gives them a load amount of cash where they could go and get some big players if they wanted to, but they didn't. And they went and got these smaller players. And you bring in Tanir, and this is a player that I know from talking to some people in HeroiC, it's like they expected him to be good, but they had no idea how good he would be. And the fact that they've brought him into the roster and he's all good, so good already, with so much development still need to be made, in terms of just mentality at this level or just developing his own game, and he's already this good. And you bring in another Belarusian player that's going to help him fit into the team even further with the culture. And Grix has been incredible. People super high on him. Not everybody. I think Maui Snake wasn't as high on Grix as everybody else is. But I think for this HeroiC team overall, it's just a lot of young talent have shown that they can get to finals at these tier 2 events, even with a different kind of roster. And I think going into the new season, you have some players that have gained that experience in the likes of Youngstar and Linus, and they've already gone to the finals in like Mongolia, and they've gone to the majors. They've got the experience, and now they've got to help some of these younger players come up. And I think just based on HeroiC's track record and what we've seen from these players so far, I think it's hard not to think that they're going to be able to perform, especially at an event like Fischer coming up, which will be a nice little start to get running.
It's an event where you feel like they can actually do some real damage, right?
Right.
I agree. I think we've had some good. There's this pilot episode of buy, sell, hold. This is pretty good start.
Yeah.
Hugo,
sell or hold?
Why don't you start with sell, and what have you got for us? So sell, the idea is something you're not such a fan of, just to be clear.
Just get rid of it.
The issue is when it comes to selling here, Henry. Now, maybe I'm not an investor. Maybe you could tell me more. You got to sell things when they're worth something. And right now, I want to sell something that is not worth anything. I want to sell this VP roster straight away.
The whole thing.
The whole
Get
thing.
rid of it.
Just sell it.
You've let it crash.
Actually, I could get specific on the electronic in-game leader project, because I don't want this to seem like I'm anti-perfecto. I think obviously it's a good move, and he picked that team. He said he had options. He picked the team he would be comfortable in. I imagine a large part of that is speaking his native language as well, and playing with players that he's familiar with. But I think generally the electronic in-game leading VP project is dead. Right? This is just Cloud9 2.0. Oh, yay, they made a major quarterfinal back in Copenhagen. Let's celebrate them. Let's sell them, because this hasn't worked. He's had multiple iterations of rosters.
Right.
Electronic has had multiple chances. They've had multiple runs. In Austin, they went 2-0. They choked from 2-0 all the way down. They fell, and they even just put Flanis on the bench after a 4-year contract. He fell off drastically since joining this team. Let's remember as well, there were rumors from Overdrive coming into this roster change season, coming in pre-Perfecto joining, that Flit and Fame were looking at going to bloody Parry Vision. They were going to drop a tier because they didn't want to play in this team anymore, because they were probably so jaded with this, this season, this year, more from electronic and from the in-game leading. And I think Flit said privately he didn't want to play on this team, and those were the rumors, and they wanted to go to Parry Vision. And Flit and Fame I still think are really good. Flit definitely better, but yeah, okay, you've put a Band-Aid over this team by adding in Perfecto, but I still think long-term, this VP... watch, obviously, as soon as you stop believing in VP, they make a run. But, I don't believe in VP. I'm selling VP.
Double thumbs down for VP.
I'm selling VP.
We'll take that on. That sounds good.
Yeah.
You want to go next, Dinko?
Yeah, might as well. So, going with your logic, Hugo, of trying to sell something while it's valuable, I'm selling Pain at the peak. And then I'll rebuy them a little bit later on. But based on their major run, I don't think they're going to be as good as they were then. I don't think they can get back to that height very quickly. So I'm going to sell them now. Then I'll buy them back a little bit cheaper later on. I think it's a great team, but I think we've kind of seen how high they can go. That kind of run at the major, that's what I would expect the best that Pain can do. I don't see them winning titles or getting to grand finals consistently. So I think I've already seen kind of their ceiling. They've hit it right now, and we'll see if they can stay at that level for a little while. But I think it's more likely to dip, even with their full roster coming in personally.
I'm doing thumbs in the middle for that one. I'm not sure I entirely agree. It's up for debate right now. It's shaky waters.
This tournament coming up at Fischer is going to be very indicative of all of these.
Yeah, that's true.
Who
you selling?
Holds, I would say. Someone who's not at the tournament, actually. We're going to be doing FaZe. I guess I didn't really consider this angle very deeply, but I just feel like the Brokey move coming back in, I just find it underwhelming.
Yeah.
I felt like they needed more of a kick up the arse in general. I obviously understand that the options are limited for top orbits right now. They're all kind of tied up in contracts, and you've got the whole simple situation. I think what I will say is I feel like a change of coach might have been a nice addition to the squad, the roster. Neo's a lovely guy, legend of Counter-Strike, but I feel like the general chemistry of the team, it feels like it's very chaotic. They seem flustered in the big games now.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been a change that would be necessary almost. If you're not going to change the roster, I think a change of perspective from the coaching squad might have been nice. I know Carrigan doesn't like to work too integrally with like an analytical coach, as it were. He likes to have more of a vibes guy behind him, but still, it feels like this going back to the old roster where you said it wasn't working. Let's hope Brokey's had a hell of a break, because I'm not sure that's going to be what it needs to bring this roster back to life.
Well, interestingly enough, you have FaZe as your hold, Hugo.
Yeah, so I'm
holding on to them.
I'm shaking on that one. It's more my angle on FaZe to hold them is more what we talked about earlier, like how I think in 6 months they're probably just going to get simple out of a free contract.
I didn't consider that angle when I made this kind of.
Don't worry, we're learning here.
Yeah.
We're learning live. But I think two reasons I want to kind of hold on FaZe, because I do think on one hand, Brokey having a break and coming back, I think is a positive thing for him. And you can't say with any certainty that he's going to come out the gate swinging. But I do think if there were ever a time, it'd be off the back of missing a couple of months of CS, coming back, grinding, getting another opportunity. And if I'm FaZe, I'm telling Brokey, hey, this is your season to prove that we should stick with you. And if we don't, we're going to go get simple in 6 months. So Brokey has a fire lit under him.
It's a really strong fire. It's a good one as well.
So
I like it.
maybe they don't get simple right. Maybe simple goes somewhere else before the player break even ends. But if in the case he doesn't, I think there is a fire lit beneath Brokey. So do I think FaZe are going to go in and sweep the season and pick up all these trophies? No, but I do think they could stabilize in a top 8, maybe even a top 5, get to a couple of semifinals, do some FaZe bullshit on stage, and then either way, I think in 6 months they're going to make changes.
Well, I'm going to hold on to Falcons personally. That's going to be the team I'm holding on to, just with the recent move they've made. Kaosuke coming in, everybody's so hyped about him, so got to hold on to that.
Let it simmer over the pan.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like the upside is huge with this Falcons team. Their performances last year when they brought Monesi in, even when they had Dexter, when they still winning that title in Bucharest. This is a team that had a great year overall. Fell off at the major, so sadly, but I think they're just going to get back to where they were very quickly, and I think it could just
I think we can. I think everyone. What a turnaround Falcons have had in terms of their PR department. In terms of it was one of the most hated rosters.
You just signed the most likable players.
And then you bring in Nico and Monesi, and all of a sudden everyone loves them. And it's they've done very well. They've done a great job turning it all around.
Those are the moves they had to make, and you can't not win when you have that level.
Well, the pressure is on. The pressure is definitely on. Surely, I'm with you. Until I have a reason not to believe in this team, I will believe in them.
We talk about the sort of the rise of the UK CS. Messi's just won a major, but also Ash as a
scouted
coach.
that guy?
I think it was
genius
Hugo B. I think.
Yeah, Hugo B.
Something Harry.
He sounded like that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he looked pretty
I digress.
good in a Cloud9 jersey, the black one, right? That was the
OG,
time, Henry. That was
you were ahead of your time, really.
Yeah,
it was.
You'll be remembered after you're gone.
You did sign him. You did sign him, and he went on to great things. But we were there to watch.
I'm not going to take all the credit for his I'm not going to take all. I'm not going to take all the credit.
Just some of the credit.
But anyway,
some of the credit and a check to cash, maybe.
Did you have anything to do with Ash, or was that kind of all?
No. Ash is a wonderful human, though.
Oh, okay.
Lovely man, great coach, and he's my hold. I suppose Game Legion is the more
you're gonna hold Ash
general concept of my hold, but Ash is the reason that I'm investing heavily in Game Legion proverbial stock here. I feel like their new signing, what's his name? I wrote it down. KooXi. So he's an AWPer that came in from Gen 1. That's the kind of KRL sort of streamer project they got going on. That's where Gravity came from. I feel like you don't know much about him now, but I think if he has got potential and he is going to be something big, Ash will get the best out of him. And I'm so surprised. Fair enough to Ash. You have to think Game Legion. I don't know much about their finances, but they turned up to Sydney, right? They don't have any sponsors on their shirts. They have no sponsors. It just says Game Legion. Wow. So in terms of the finance of the org, how they're making money, I have no idea. But they are not a big org that can pay the huge salaries. We know that much. And the fact that he should have been the coach of Team Liquid, for example. Ash should have been, right? I feel like he could have been
definitely
in a Tier 1 roster. He could have been one of those players. He's either showing immense loyalty or they found a way to keep him happy, and maybe he likes this idea of he's in charge, he gets to choose the rosters and has the a loud voice within it. But my point is I want to hold on And I want to give Gamer Legion a chance because they've proven to us so many times that they can get a lot out of very little. So
Team
I feel
is
like,
super strong.
yeah. So hopefully they've got like a really nice foundation now. Ash, the new kind of player to mold into his vision. I feel like they're going to be doing a lot of damage, and hopefully they can hit the ground running at this tournament at Fischer.
Well, that's exciting to see if it all works out for Ash and his decision to stay in the Gamer Legion roster. But that's it for the first episode. Here, Hugo, thank you for joining us.
Well, you've been a great guest.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll have you back. It's nice to learn a little bit more about the start of your career, too.
And we're going to try and do this twice a month, right?
Yeah, twice a month. So that's we've had the first episode here. We're going to do another one where we talk about Cologne, either pre or post. We'll figure that out in due course. But we're going to have a lot of different guests in the Counter-Strike scene on. If you have a guest you would like to see, make sure to post on social medias at Henry or I, and we'll try and do our best to get them on. But this has been the first episode of the Post Plant Podcast, brought to you by Bitcoin.com Casino.